Going down where it's your boy Cowboy Richie, the 24-hour hair doctor, checking in. As you can see today, we got another episode of the Barber Survival Guide series. Today is episode 5, the long game. Let's get into it. This is where we stop thinking about days and we start thinking about decades. Too many barbers can cut, but they can't plan. And if you can't plan, you can't grow. Let's get into it. A barber cuts hair, but a brand builds trust. The long game is about the version of you that shows up consistently. Some examples. You got the same quality haircut, the same cleanliness, the same professionalism, the same attitude, the same discipline. When people know what to expect from you, they keep returning to you. Like myself, even though I constantly go through changes with my vehicle, being mobile, unmobile, get on this bike, not get on this bike, you come to me, I come to you. Doesn't matter because people have bought into what I'm selling, and what I'm selling is me, the true me, who I am, what I'm trying to build. I think that is very important that we understand why people come to us as barbers. Why do people come to us as people in general? Like, we think, oh, we got the best fade, I can do a mohawk, or I get the fade just crispy enough. No, anybody can go get a fade, and sometimes people don't even care about the fade. It'd be bad fade if the experience, if the moment was just what a person needed. Because if y'all don't really think about it, we all are going through something. And so a lot of times when people sit in that chair, like I tell y'all, it's therapy. Now, success shouldn't depend on how you feel today. Systems keep you consistent when you don't feel good, or when you don't feel right, when your energy shifts. The long game systems is about having a client log, somewhere that you keep your information about your clients, so that way you can follow up. That's the next thing. You got to have appointment follow-up system, to where after they get done with their haircut or they service, that you have a way of recontacting them to just check on them and to see when it is you would like to rebook, just to update them on the new changes that's going on in your life and vice versa theirs. Next, we have a monthly content schedule where we do what I'm doing right now. We create content to put out. And I'm going to stop using that word. We create commercials. We create attention. Now, people don't understand that's all these content creators are doing. Just think about when you was a kid and your favorite commercial come on. That's what we're trying to do here. So never forget that. That's just a nugget. Then you need a saving system, somewhere where you keep your money, how you keep your money, so that way you can grow and expand your business, your brand, your ideas. Next, you're going to need an inventory restock cycle, a system to let you know how much materials you have used and how many materials you're going to need to replenish. Without that system, you're going to show up to you're going to show up to do a cut, and you ain't going to have what you need because you didn't do what you properly supposed to do to make sure your inventory was full. Next, you're going to need a weekly self-check system. This is maybe, if not the most important system you're going to need, because without having yourself in the top tier shape, in the best part of your moment, in your mental, if you're not thinking smoothly, then you're not going to be able to continue to perform at the level you need to perform at. So when we talking about these systems, that's why I say the self-check system is the most important system, because without the self-check system, you can't, good morning, brother, you can't perform at your best ability on a consistent level. You need systems in this life. Systems is what help you be able to perform when you don't feel like performing. Like today, I got up, I didn't feel like doing what it is that I need to do. But because I created a system, I had already things rolling, things already scheduled to come out, it motivated, it showed me like, boy, all you got to do is drop one video, and for one video, the possibilities are endless. Let's get to the next section. Listen, money for the long game. You can't build long-term income off short-term habits. And that's what I mean. We're going to get into this again. I talked about this on several episodes, but just to remind you, long-term financial formula, 10%, remember, goes to savings. 10% goes to investment. So remember I said 20% saving and investment. We just bust that down 10. So that's 20 already gone. Then 30 goes to business investments. Again, restocking, taking trips, taking classes, learning, getting new products, getting yourself a uniform. See me, I'm Cowboy Richie, the 24-hour hair doctor. You won't see me without this bandana tied around my neck, or you won't see me without that cowboy hat on my head. One of the two, because that has now become a staple. People are lining up, screaming down the street, that's Cowboy. Go take a picture with him, baby. Go say hi. You know, I'm out here shaking hands, kissing babies, because I have a uniform now that even when my back is turned, when you can't see me, you see that figure. It's only one figure in the world that's walking around with a cowboy hat, a bandana around his neck, and a doctor jacket. Cowboy Richie, the 24-hour hair doctor. But let's get back to it. And 50%, the last 50% goes to your life and your bills. You know, emergencies, things that's going to happen on a day-to-day basis, your necessity, those bottom tier things on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, those are things that we take care of in our 50% business life. So again, we got 10% to savings, 10% to investing, that's 20. Then you got a 30% to your back into the business, whatever you make. And then the other 50 is about how do you take care of your life and your bills. So that is money for the long game, because discipline protects you more than motivation ever will. Like I just said this morning, I didn't have the motivation to get up, but I had the discipline and the systems to continue to perform on the level that I'm trying to perform on. So let's get on into the next session: purpose, legacy, and impact. Legacy ain't about being known. It's about being remembered for the right reasons, you know? And that's what I'm trying to do here with the Hustler Shares program, Cowboy Richie, 24-hour hair doctor. God Level Material, God Level Music Group, my marketing agency, God Level Events. It's about having pillars, having things in place to be able to pass on to the next generation. To know that after we die, if we done enough work, we can ascend to an idea, something that somebody can look at and be like, you know what, I'm a pattern my game at that. And once I got a good understanding and knowledge of what bro was trying to do, I'm going to build and create my own game. So examples of legacy building is just what we doing right now: teaching, mentor, community service, branding, building products like the Build Drip. If y'all don't know, I have my own beard oil. Give me a moment right here. I can show y'all. My beard oil, my own beard oil. The same thing as some hair oil you put on your hair, you can put in your beard. I also have labels for these. If you don't know, if y'all haven't checked these things out, please do so. Next, we're going to get into being consistent for years. Let me say that again: be consistent for years / decades. Because if you being consistent for months, you being consistent for weeks and days, you're going to get some traction. But if you want that legacy, if you want that thing that you can pass on, that thing that's going to be here after you gone physically, you got to do this for years. And so this year was my 10th year anniversary for my entrepreneurship. 10 years ago, I got a gang of people together and I asked them, did they believe? They said they did. As y'all see, we the only ones on live. So you got to be able to see your dream and go for it no matter what. Because longevity is built in the days nobody sees. You know, now we here 10 years later. I know how to market, use a camera, use Photoshop, create videos, cut hair, throw parties, coordinating community events, do giveaways, all type of stuff. That's just because over the last 10 years, I was fearless in putting myself out there and acquiring the skills and knowledge that I need to continue to improve and grow on this journey, man. That's all it's about. In closing, you deserve more than a good week. You deserve a good life. And you build that life from the long game, from consistency, from every day, every moment, showing up the best that you can. Nobody said you gotta be the best in the world. Nobody said that. All the greats, all they ever asked and all they ever said was, if you control what you can control, that's going to be enough. If you really control what you can control, that's going to be enough, man. So listen, I am Cowboy Richie, the 24-hour hair doctor. I be chopping boys down. I'ma come through with the clips and cut you down. I been chopping boys down, man. This has been episode 5, The Long Game. And I approve this message. Love y'all.